Hello, everyone. This is John Ferretti of the Local 100 Fightback Coalition. I'm a former Local 100 Executive Board member and longtime shop steward of TW Local 100. I'm going to be broadcasting this live stream to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. And the reason why I'm coming to you live, as I mentioned um, in the live stream announcement, is that the Local 100 leadership has just found out that our members' dental coverage, dental insurance coverage, has been terminated or is listed as terminated with dental insurance providers. And we know this because members went to their dentists and went to their providers and were told that their dental coverage is listed as terminated. Now, Canelo Gomez would have you believe that there's nothing to see here. Canelo Gomez, the RTO VP, he would have you believe that nothing has changed and that you have exactly the same dental insurance coverage that you had previously. And as the members who went to their dentist and tried to get needed dental treatment can tell you, they were told their coverage is terminated and that they can't perform any services for them at all until that problem is resolved. So how did this all happen? Okay, what happened was that United Healthcare purchased Healthplex, the dental insurance company that we've been using as our dental insurance and benefits provider. They purchased that company because the company was delinquent. It was nearly $9 million in the red in terms of its finances. So it didn't have enough money to be able to pay out claims. They were audited by New York State, and New York State, along with Healthplex and United Healthcare, came up with this plan to have United Healthcare take over the administering of the healthcare benefits. And this is not just for us, this is for all of Healthplex. So in any case, if you want to see, I'm going to share my screen so that you can see what I'm talking about here. I'm using a new service, so I'm trying to figure out some of the settings on it. So in any case, I'm gonna put all of those things in the chat. The New York State there's a explanation of exactly what was going on with Healthplex and what their plan was to become solvent and United Healthcare's takeover. That takeover happened on December 31st of 2020. So that's more than three years ago, because this is January of 2024. So throughout 2021, 2022, all of 2023, United Healthcare did nothing to take the information, the provider information that Healthplex had, and transfer it over to their own computer network so that everything could be integrated on their system. So in any case, they decided to do that transfer at the very beginning of a benefit year, which is January 1st, 2024. As you can see in the announcement for this live stream, you'll see that they sent letters to dental providers, and this was a couple of weeks in the lead up to the switchover. And everything would have worked out fine had their computer transfer actually happened, and it hasn't. So their system crashed, and every time a dental provider looks up our coverage, it says that our coverage is terminated. And I have texts from members today. I've been speaking to members all day who are calling, wondering what to do. And they've told them that they're not going to provide them any services unless the coverage is listed as active. Now, Canelo would have you believe, based on his post on Facebook, that nothing has changed, and that people are just. Let me just pull up so I can read, even though I can't share my screen. He says that anyone saying that the union switched everyone's dental insurance to United Healthcare has absolutely no idea what they're talking about. Hashtag lies and deception. United Healthcare bought Healthplex in 2020, and they've started a process of integrating over their computer system. At the present time, they have a computer problems taking over the network. As of right now, everyone has the exact same dental insurance with no changes at all. Hopefully, this computer system problem will be resolved. Is fixed by tomorrow. 1,000%, as one of the major wins in this contract was the improvement of our dental. At this time, the union is still in the process of reaching out to different providers to bid for the best possible package for our members. I hope this will bring clarity to this unfortunate computer problem that is out of anyone's control. Really? It's out of anyone's control, huh? Well, Local 100 is the party that administers the dental and vision health insurance for our members. It's their responsibility to make sure that fuck-ups like this don't happen. It's their responsibility to investigate who it is they're doing business with in terms of the solvency of that company, in terms of how they manage their business, and whether our members will be able to get the services that they need without any delay and without any extra costs or denial of benefits. That's their job. It's one of the most important single responsibilities that our union has. I mean, other than a 12-9, an assault, an incident where members need union representation, there is no more important responsibility that a union leadership has. And look at the attitude that you get from your leadership. Hashtag fake news. They're lying about us. Canella, go tell the members who can't get dental services right now because their health insurance coverage is canceled because of incompetence or God knows what else. Go tell them hashtag fake news. This kind of attitude is the furthest thing that we should expect from a union leadership that is supposed to represent all of us and who is trusted and entrusted with the health and safety and the benefits of our members. The response of any healthy union leadership would have been that they are just as pissed as we are, and it's an outrage that our members went to dentist's office and couldn't get care. Imagine for the average worker who works 40, 50 hours a week trying to schedule to have a root canal done, and they go to the office and they're not able to get that done, or they're not able to get gum treatment done. These are things that can affect their overall health, and we all know it's impossible to get time off. In RTO, for example, it takes you got to put in for a day 20 days in advance and hope for the best, and if it's on the weekend, forget it. So we all know how hard it is for our members to be able to take time off to get the care that they need. The very least that should be expected is that when they go to those providers, that they are able to get the care that they need. So the attitude of the union leadership is this is nobody's fault. No, it is somebody's fault. It's the provider's fault. And there needs to be consequences for those providers. And the response I want to hear from my union leadership is that they're going to break their foot off in somebody's ass until we get the benefits that we need. Our members' health and safety comes first. That the contractual benefits that are paid for and negotiated in the contract are going to be delivered, and there's not going to be any ifs, ands, or buts about it. And they should threaten to sue the provider for breach of contract because their fuck up has caused our members to not get care. That's the bare basics of any kind of response by our union leadership that was not a disgrace to the name of unionism. So I just want to get into some of the research we've been doing on United Healthcare, because I'm just a rank and file member. I'm a former executive board member, but I don't cash a check from Local 100. I'm not elected to any position that's responsible to the members of Local 100, but I took the time to look up what's going on with United Healthcare. And members should have known about this well in advance. First of all, our union leadership actively campaigns against Medicare for all, actively campaigns for universal health care. They campaign against it because they want to maintain control of negotiating these benefits with the bosses. And if you remember, the way we got these health insurance benefits was, as a concession on wages, we directed funds to fund our health insurance care. The national healthcare system, Medicare for All, would take away all of that need to haggle over a basic human necessity like health insurance. But even if you're not going to have a national health insurance system and you're not going to fight for government-sponsored and funded health care, then the bare minimum you could provide is some kind of competition for these providers. And we have exactly zero competition in Local 100, either for healthcare insurance or for optical or dental coverage. And so then, if you're not going to have multiple providers, the bare minimum you could do is to investigate who these providers are, what the customer response is to those providers, what the complaints are, what they're involved in. And I don't think that's too much to do a little bit of research. I was able to do a little bit of research online on Google. In 10 minutes, I came up with very disturbing information about United Healthcare. United Healthcare has the single most number of complaints in New York State for health insurance, any health insurance provider. You can go to the Better Business Bureau and look up the complaints for United Healthcare. They receive a 1.12 out of 5-star rating in terms of people being satisfied with the care they received, with the customer service they received, etc. They've received 1,897 complaints in the last 3 years, 902 complaints in the last 12 months. You can, if you don't like the Better Business Bureau, you can go to consumerAffairs.com, and see the ratings of United Healthcare, 1.7 stars out of 5. They've had 2,007 reviews and 4,045 ratings, and they receive a 1.7 stars out of 5. In addition to the response from their consumers, there's also things that we need to know about this insurance company. For example, they are the single largest provider of Medicare Advantage plans in the country. I'm trying to get the number of people here. It says, this is from the Center of Public Integrity. They were charged in a suit filed by United Healthcare sales agents in Wisconsin that said that they kept a dual set of books. Does that sound familiar, Local 100 members? 2 sets of books. I think I heard that somewhere before. Kind of like what management does, right? In terms of they're always having a budget deficit when it comes time to negotiate contracts. So what the dual sets of books was to cover up a brazen kickback scheme in which agents promised iPads to people who agreed to sign up and stay with the healthcare plan for 6 months. They've also engaged in they've inflated their ratings on this government website. I'm going to provide all the links to this, by the way, on the comments of the video. But so in any case, Medicare paid United Healthcare $1.4 billion in bonuses, and this is in fiscal 2016, based on their high quality ratings. They've more than tripled the amount of bonuses they've gotten from Medicare by fraudulently obtaining these bonuses by concealing the true extent of the complaints against them. So part of this is everyday corruption on the part of government officials who are just going through the motions in order to basically accept campaign contributions and other things and other goodies from these health insurance companies, while running interference for them for how they're actually providing care. They also were the New York State Attorney General also recently they forced them to pay a settlement for denial of care to people who needed mental health care. I'm trying to pull up the information right now. Okay. So, Sorry about that. Let me just get to my phone here. Sorry. Um, Sorry for the delay. It's Attorney General Letitia James. Here it is. Attorney General Letitia James and the U.S. Department of Labor deliver $14 million to consumers who are denied mental health care coverage. United Healthcare unlawfully denied coverage to 20,000 New Yorkers for mental health and substance abuse treatment, and they will pay approximately $14.3 million in restitution to customers affected by these policies, including $9 million to more than 20,000 New Yorkers with behavioral health conditions who received denials or reductions in reimbursement. So, in any case, they violated New York state and federal law, and they were forced to pay millions of dollars in compensation to the people who they've harmed. Now, Local 100, if you're going to choose the only company that you're going to do business with for dental and vision health insurance benefits, you think might want to do some research to actually find out what this company is involved in and how well they provide the benefits and services that our members need. So it's not about politics or how I feel about Canelo Gomez or Richard Davis or any of these people. They have an obligation or responsibility that they are honor bound to live up to. And I strongly encourage members to contact your elected union officers, contact the TWU Member Services Department, and demand action as far as restoring these services immediately. You also need to keep records. If you do get care and you decide to pay out of pocket, if that's even possible for you to do, please maintain records so that we can make sure that every dime is reimbursed to the members of this union who have already paid through their contributions for these services. We don't want to be in a situation where anybody falls through the cracks. So please document if you're denied care, try to get a letter from the dentist or the provider to prove that you've been denied care, that they refused to offer you care. Or if you got care, if you paid out of pocket, we need to maintain receipts so that we can provide a record for any kind of legal action against the provider. And also for Local 100 to do their job and use that documentation to actually demand restitution for every dime that members have been forced to pay out unjustly when they have coverage and their coverage had no reason to be terminated at all. The other part of this is the fact that United Healthcare is the number one provider of Medicare Advantage plans is instructive. That look at who they chose to be the only provider is the single largest recipient of Medicare Advantage profits. It means something that our union chose to have this company have no competition at all. And you cannot tell me that when you have one provider that has no competition at all, that's not a recipe for corruption. That's not a recipe for kickbacks to the union leadership to continue to do business and to continue to maintain certain kinds of profit rates for that company. And we need a union leadership that is not asleep at the switch. It's not about people spreading lies about Canella. This is not a personal attack on Canella. It's Canella's goddamn job to not fall asleep at the switch and allow an insurance company's fuck up to mean that our members don't get care. That just simply cannot happen. Not now and not ever. And there needs to be consequences for that insurance company. And union members need to make damn sure that there are consequences for union officers who think it's a personal attack to call them out for not doing their goddamn job. That's not cute. It's not acceptable. And this is not a social media fantasy world where people can get caught in their feelings when members are experiencing real harm. That's disgraceful. And it's the actual opposite of anything a trade union should be standing for. We should be not engaging in divide and conquer. How do we get here? We get here because we constantly have a union that says, fuck the new hires. What do you care? They can't vote. Screw them. So we can further our relationship with the bosses and pay for our own wage increases by giving back and collaborating with the bosses' attacks on those who are most vulnerable in our union. How did we get here? We got here. Now they've turned the guns on retiree health care. Again, people who cannot vote, people who don't have a say. Your union has collaborated with management to attack their retiree health care and to force them into a for-profit system that they know will eventually lead to denial of care. It already is leading to denial of care. You have whole hospital groups who are refusing to accept the Medicare Advantage plan, any Medicare Advantage plan. So they know that they're causing harm, and the explanation is, oh, don't worry about that. Don't worry about retiree health care. They'll be fine. But you're going to get something out of screwing the retirees. You're going to get better dental benefits. You're going to get better optical benefits. This is what they tell you. This is how they sold their contract. They sold their contract saying, hooray for you, and fuck the retirees. And what ends up happening? It boomerangs on all of us, because what ends up happening is, after the contract is passed, they haven't even reached out to providers to provide additional dental and optical funding and better benefits, nor have they communicated with the members in the least. Not a word was said about the switch to United Healthcare. Not a word. And so if Canella knew that United Healthcare was sold in late December of 2020, why didn't he see it as his obligation to inform the members about anything, to allay their fears that nothing would change? If that's really the case, why don't you come to the members and say, nothing will change, and we've inspected everything and we've negotiated to make sure there'll be no denial of care? Why don't you say that? You don't say that because they didn't do that. They didn't do their job. They didn't negotiate with multiple providers to get the best care for our members. They haven't done anything since the contract passed. Contract passed months and months ago, yet nothing has been done, and they allow the provider to cancel and terminate accidentally our dental care, our dental benefits on the first of the year, when the benefits for new people who are new hires or who signed up for a different one of the dental plans, they all go in effect on January 1st. How could you possibly let the provider cut off and terminate our benefits for any reason? I don't care if it's a computer snafu or otherwise. Why did they go through with this computer update at that particular time? No curiosity from union leaders. They could care less. And we have to make them care. And that's why we need members to have your voices heard and to put your boot in the neck of your union leadership. If they won't put their boot in the neck of United Healthcare and get these problems resolved quick, fast, and get a restitution for our members, then obviously we need to put our boot in their neck, because they need to clarify their mind that I don't care when it is, an election year, not an election year, denial of care for our members on a plan that's administered by the Local 100 union leadership is completely and utterly unacceptable and must end immediately. I thank you so much for your time. This is just a short update. We're going to be doing a lot more short updates. We're currently live streaming on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitch, and on Twitter. And we look forward to comments you might have about your own experiences. We need to document those experiences as soon as possible. Please reach out to us, and we'll be glad to amplify your voices and make sure that information gets to the best people for action to actually be taken. We thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to continuing the discussion real soon. Everybody have a happy new year, and we'll talk real soon.